Good afternoon. I'm Laura Mogul, an Access Marshall Society leader from Chicago, Illinois. I want to thank you all for joining this remote access program, which is a commemoration of Israel's Holocaust Memorial Day, Yom HaShoah. Access is the young professional division of AJC Global, whose mission is to combat anti-Semitism, promote Israel's place in the world, and to promote democratic values. Today, today's special program is based on the model of Zikaron Basalon, Memory in the Living Room, which is also held annually by Access Israel. This Israeli program is usually held in a family home and features a testimony from a Holocaust survivor and a brief discussion with the younger audience. This year, we will be taking this concept directly into our homes via Zoom. Today's event will feature testimony from Beryl Shore, a Holocaust survivor with direct connections with the World War II era Japanese diplomat, Chiune Sugihara, who saved thousands of Jews from the Nazis, as well as remarks from Miss Megumi Ishizuka, a Japanese diplomat stationed in Israel. I recently traveled to Japan with AJC Access, and during the trip had the opportunity to meet the granddaughter of Chiune Sugihara, the Japanese diplomat who saved more than 2,000 Jews, issuing visas for them to flee Lithuania during World War II. Because of his bravery, thousands of Jews survived the Holocaust, and their descendants number in the hundreds of thousands. Before I introduce our guests, if you have any questions or reflections during this presentation, please enter those in the question and answer box below, and we'll take 20 minutes at the end for a discussion. And now I am honored to introduce Mr. Beryl Shore. Mr. Shore was born in 1927 in Krakow, Poland. When the war started, he was sent to Lithuania by his family, where he obtained a transit visa from Sugihara and fled through the Soviet Union, eventually onto safety in Japan. After the war, he made Aliyah and became a successful mechanical engineer. He is today the father of 4 children and many grandchildren, and pursues a number of interests, including photography and archaeology. We are honored to have Mr. Shore join us today and share his incredible story.
Shalom and greetings from Israel. On this Memorial Day, our thoughts are with all the millions of men, women, and children who were murdered by the Nazis during the Holocaust. Our thoughts are also with the heroes of the Shoah, those Jews and non-Jews. And the heroes of the Shoah were those who helped others to survive, to have something that they wouldn't have otherwise. Just help, human help, which was something so desperately needed and required under those terrible conditions under which people were kept in concentration camps, labor camps, and ghettos. Today, we will share a few thoughts concerning one of the most unlikely candidates for the honor of Hasidei Umot Ha'olam, the righteous of the nations, and he's the Japanese consul in Lithuania, in the capital city of Kaunas, in the early days of the war. He was at that time a reasonably young man and has had a lot of experience in various posts all over the world. But all over the world really consisted of 2 areas. The northerly or northwesterly neighbor of Japan, Russia, whom the Japanese didn't particularly like for quite good reasons, and the border between Russia and Germany in Europe. Now, Sugihara, that was the consul, Shune Sugihara was really into those various posts to gather information. He was mainly interested in information regarding Russia and Germany. The Japanese also didn't like that idea of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact between Germany and Russia. They were afraid of this monster who is now going to take over the whole world, the Nazi Soviet monster. Anyway, while serving as a consul or some consular official in places like Finland and Lithuania, and attending many cocktail parties, he rubbed shoulders with a lot of other diplomats, and amongst them, Germans, also German military attachés. And Sugihara must have heard all sorts of little words which were dropped, ideas of what the Russians, of what the Americans, of what the Germans had in what the German ideas were concerning the Jews of Europe. Now, the Japanese consul in those days, just like nowadays, represents a country. And he hasn't got much of a leeway regarding his own personal views. But here and there, he can influence his superiors. This was certainly not so in Japan. Imperial Japan, before Pearl Harbor, was a country with an absolute government ruled by an absolute emperor who had all the power in the world. He had to be obeyed, and he had to be obeyed by everybody at all times. Now, he was not a dictator. He was an emperor who was loved by all his people, to such an extent that any word of his directly to the people or through members of his government just simply had to be obeyed and were obeyed automatically. A consul was sent out to gather information, was supposed to gather information and deliver it to his superiors. Otherwise, he was supposed to act according to the rules which were set up for him. Now, Sugihara was the consul of Japan in a small consulate set up in Kaunas, and wasn't particularly concerned with the Jewish problem. One day, he woke up in the morning, walked up to the window, and found a crowd waiting in the street in front of his consulate. The whole consulate consisted of Sugihara, his wife, and a German assistant. He asked his assistant to go out and see what all the people wanted. And then he came back and said those are Jewish refugees. They ran away from the Germans. They want a visa to Japan. Sugihara contacted the Foreign Office in Japan, asked whether he could issue visas, and the answer he received was no. Sugihara stopped for a few moments, contacted again the superiors. Can I issue, please, transit visas for Japan? just to give those people a chance to escape Iran.
All right, everyone, we're just trying to get the sound better. We had a little bit of a hard time hearing.
Well, I'll try to be a lot louder.
Thank you. Oh,
Now,
okay, do you want to try again?
we're at the point where Sugihara was in his consulate and there were people waiting outside. Now, it's a small digression. How do I come into the Sugihara story? It started off on the 1st of September 1939 when Poland was attacked. And Krakow was bombed by the Luftwaffe, who dropped several bombs onto the Krakow aerodrome. My brother-in-law decided to take his wife, my sister, and their child out of Krakow to a small village not far away from Lublin, where we had a place where they could stay safely and quietly without being in a town which is bombed.
Hello.
And so we decided, or
הבנתי.
go to this
אה,
township with his wife and child.
אבל אז לא ישמעו אותו אצלך. אני כן רוצה שיהיה... תראה, מה שאני יכול לעשות, אני יכול...
Now, he sold his car about 2 weeks before the war. So he didn't have a vehicle to get there. Public transport was at a standstill. So he had an idea. He rented a bus with a driver. And so not only they left Krakow, but also a lot of relatives and friends who also did not want to stay in Krakow during the war. And so we left. When I said we, I also left with them. My father and mother took one look at me. I was at that time a 13-year-old boy. Why should I stay in town in cities which were being bombed? I may as well be in a place which is safe. So my father very quickly got one of my birth certificates, and I joined my brother-in-law and sister, and we went to Lublin. Now, just before we got to Lublin, we found out that the Germans were not far behind us.
My brother-in-law here.
Sorry for the disturbance. Well, I shall continue. Now, when we got to Lublin, my brother-in-law, who was a very clever gentleman and could very quickly find out what was going on, decided that it would not be safe to stay in Lublin, even though it was in the middle of Poland. And so we turned east towards the Russian border. When we were some 50 kilometers from the border, we were met by a column of Russian tanks. That was when Russia attacked Poland from the east, and so we found ourselves under Russian occupation. Then we decided we are going to go up to Vilna. The reason for that was that Vilna was near Lithuania and Latvia, two small Baltic countries which still had open consulates. And the idea was to try and get out of Europe. Vivek realized, my brother-in-law Vivek realized that we had to get out of Europe as soon as possible and as far as possible. And so we arrived to Vilna. Now the first thing that my brother-in-law had to do is to get passports for us. We lived in Poland, went from Krakow to Lublin. One doesn't need to have a passport. The passports are left at home. If someone goes from New York to Boston, he doesn't take a passport with him, nor someone from Tel Aviv who goes to Jerusalem. So we did not have travel documents. And without a travel document, you couldn't get a visa if anyone would even want to give you one. And so Vivek found out that in Kaunas, one could get a certificate, which was more or less something like a passport, but not quite, of Polish citizenship. So we went to Vilna, to the British legation there, and the British legation, on behalf of the Polish government in London, decided to issue those certificates, and we received, there were 7 of us in the family there, we received 7 certificates certifying that we were Polish citizens. The next thing was to get a visa to somewhere, and that wasn't easy. Nobody wanted to issue visas. We went again to Kaunas, because we lived in Vilna. We went again to Kaunas. And then Vivek must have heard some rumor about Sugihara. And he made inquiries and was told that one could get from Sugihara a transit visa through Japan, but one first had to get a visa to some other location, some other country, which would accept you. I don't know whether it was Sugihara or someone else or whoever arranged it, but the Dutch consul started issuing visas to Curacao, which was in those days in the Dutch East Indies, and knowing very well that Curacao probably wouldn't let you in, nor would anyone want to go to Curacao. But Vivek went to the consulate. The moment he came into the consul threw up his arms, 7 visas. The consulate was full of people. He gave my brother-in-law a chair next to the table in the corner and said, write out 7 visas, I'll sign them. Now the visas were French. My brother-in-law didn't know a word of French, but he copied the 7 visas. Next stop was to go to the Sugihara consulate. By the time Vivek and I arrived there, the consulate was, well, the street in front of the consulate was black with people. The assistant of Sugihara tried to keep some order at the entrance, but it was obvious to Vivek that he wasn't able to get into the consulate. Certainly not on that day, perhaps not on the next day. And there were rumors that Sugihara was to leave his post in Vilna, in Kaunas, within a few days. Vivek took a look around and found on the right-hand side of the house, there was a fence in front of it. Now there is no fence. In those days there was a fence. On the right-hand corner of that fence was a little gate. He walked over to the gate and he found that the gate was open. He opened the gate and walked through the garden down a path towards a door on the side of the building. He knocked on the door and tried. The door was open, and he opened the door and walked in. He found himself in the kitchen of the Sugihara house. There was a lady, a Japanese lady there. She bowed towards him. He bowed back. after a few more bowls, he saw a door on the other side of the kitchen. He asked whether he could cross. The lady, whether she understood or not, nodded her head and said yes. He said, thank you. And he opened the door, and there were some steps, walked up a few steps. There were doors on both sides of the corridor. He opened one door, the room was empty. Another door, the room was empty. Third door, he opened it and found himself face to face with Consul Sugihara. Of course, he immediately apologized for barging in like this. The consul smiled and asked him, how did you get in here? He told him. So the consul thought it was very, very funny. Anyway, he said, what do you want? He said, I need 7 visas. The consul asked for the documents and said, come back tomorrow and you'll have your 7 visas. And this is how we got the visas from Consul Sugihara. Now, Sugihara knew that he had no right to issue those visas. He issued them after a sleepless night, and in the morning he turned to his wife and to his assistant and said, open the door and let people in one at a time. And he sat down at his desk and started writing visas. Now he issued about 2,100, I think, and 36 visas. I have the number here exactly. I mean, just around 2,100 visas. And all this was done within 3 or 4 days. The visas had to be stamped, people had to be identified, they had to be signed. It was quite a big do. And the fact that he managed all this before he closed his consulate and left was really amazing. Now I'd just like to mention a few other interesting things. It wasn't enough to get a visa, as much as that was the most precious thing that we had at the time. We were now in Lithuania, which was already again under Russian rule, and the GPU, the Russian Secret Service, was running the country. When we had the visas and had to apply for a permit to leave Russia, we had a problem. We knew that in the south of Poland, everybody was given the chance of becoming a Russian citizen or had to declare that he wishes to leave Russia. All the people who declared that they want to leave Russia were taken to Siberia. And we knew that. I remember an evening in which the family gathered and discussed the situation, and Vilek said, we are going to buy some warm clothing, and if they send us to Siberia, we'll be in Siberia. It's all better than to stay under Stalin's rule in occupied Poland. And so we applied for the visa. Now that wasn't such a simple thing. Nothing was done in an orderly manner. Everything was haphazard. Everything was done with yells and shrieks and insults even. The person who was in charge of those exit permits, or exit visas, was a lady I just forgot her name. It doesn't really matter. Yes, Nina. It was Tovarish Nina. She declared whether you got a visa or whether you didn't get a visa to leave Russia. If she decided you didn't leave it. That's all there was to it. You couldn't appeal. There was no one to appeal to. Somehow Vilek got very friendly with her, and everything went quite smoothly. But we were joined a little late by one of my uncles, And he applied a little late for a visa, went to see Tovarish Nina. Tovarish Nina looked at his documents, opened her the drawer on her desk, threw the documents into her drawer, and said, "You are not leaving. Out!" Bilek's uncle came back, my uncle, sorry, came back after this meeting, totally distraught. Bilek took him the next day back to Tovarish Nina. And as I mentioned, he was quite friendly with her. So she said hello to him, take a seat. And then she asked, "What can I do for you?" And he said, "This is my brother, was my uncle. And he gave you some documents to get an exit visa. And you told him to come back today." He says, "I did. Where are the papers?" He says, "You put the papers in your drawer." So she opened the drawer, found the papers, pulled them out. "Oh," he says, "yes, okay, come back tomorrow, you'll have a visa." That was the Russian system. So one had to be very, very lucky to get a visa to leave Russia. Now, once you got a permit to leave Russia, there were still two, or maybe shall we say one, very, very important steps. And that was to buy a ticket on the Trans-Siberian Railroad from Moscow to Vladivostok on the Japanese Sea. Now, one had to pay in dollars, US dollars. If you were caught on the street with US dollars, you were sent immediately to Siberia because there was a strict prohibition to be the owner of US dollars. But to get a ticket from the official Russian government travel agency, you had to pay in dollars because you were now a visitor. You had a permit to leave Russia. You are no longer one of our Russians. So one had to organize the money for the ticket, and then we went on the Trans-Siberian Railway and arrived at Vladivostok, and from there to Japan. Now, this is a typical little story, and I will only manage to tell you the few of the main facts. There were very many very interesting little incidents in that story. However, we haven't got the time for them. Now, each of those steps, getting from the British Embassy a permit, getting this Zikaron visa, getting the Japanese visa, getting the permission to leave Russia, and all this took nearly 9 months. Every one of those steps was essential. But the most essential and the most difficult step was Sugihara, because as a Japanese civil servant, he disobeyed his government, something which at that time was considered totally and absolutely impossible, certainly for a consul of his, shall we say, Highness isn't enough, the Emperor of Japan in those days. So you really owe this man a lot, particularly if you come to think of it, that the mentality of the Japanese, particularly in those days, where the contact between Europe and Japan was almost zero, and the European mentality was such that for Sugihara to grasp the Jewish problem, particularly versus the Nazis, was next to a miracle. Now, there are all sorts of stories, and some of them are right, some of them are wrong. One story is that Sugihara, after giving out the visas, was demoted, thrown out of the Foreign Office, and worked as a stevedore in one of the ports in Japan, harbors in Japan. Those stories, for example, were not correct, because Sugihara remained in the civil service of Japan until, I think, 1946 or something like that, and only later was asked to retire. I don't know why and what the reason was. Possibly he was asked, possibly he decided to retire. He held all sorts of quite honorable positions in Japan. He was professor at one of the universities. He worked for several companies. The experience he gathered before the war certainly was important for him. Now there are two interesting points. Sugihara issued, I have it right in front of me, 2,139 visas. Children did not need a visa. Some people died from the time they got the visa until they could leave. Some people received visas and never used them because they couldn't get enough, they didn't have enough money to get out of Russia and to pay for the Trans-Siberian Railway. So that I expect no more than about 2,000 people actually had visas from Sugihara to enter Japan. However, we don't know the exact number, but the estimate is that 5,000 to 6,000 people visited or came on visitors' visas that were either Sugihara visas or looked very much like Sugihara visas to Japan. Obviously, there were a lot of forged visas. In cases like this, of course, forgeries are common garden. I'm sure the Japanese could have easily identified the difference between the real visa and the forged visa. However, they never tried. Everyone who arrived was greeted with a smile. That shows, in a way, the Japanese attitude at that time to people who needed help. And for that, we are grateful. We have to be grateful for one other thing, and that is that there was no anti-Semitism in Japan. They looked at us as Europeans, and they treated us like any other European. And to give you an example of this German attitude, of this Japanese attitude, there was a perfect example given by the Japanese foreign minister to a group of Jews after Pearl Harbor. But instead of giving you the, I'll give you the, show you the text in a moment. So I'll have to finish now, as time is running short, and I'll just show you a few photographs of which were taken at that time and some later after that. Have we done that?
We would like to share the screen, and it's disabled here.
Well, I hope that we have a
Are you
problem.
not able to share the screen? Let me see if I can.
Like 30 photographs.
Okay, hold on. I think I know how. Let me, 1 second. think I just need to make you co-host. Okay, now try it. Works? Great.
This is Chuno Sugihara, the consul. It's a photograph taken at about the time he was issuing visas. This is the certificate which we received from the Charge d'Affaires of the British Legation in Kaunas on behalf of the Polish government in exile. Now, it is black and white for the simple reason that it was changed in Tokyo for a Polish passport, and the Poles asked for the visa, so we had to leave it there. But I'm showing a moment some other originals in color. Now, here we have two visas. This is the Dutch visa, and this is the Japanese visa, Sugihara's visa. Now, I'll show you some other examples of visas. Can I have the slide back? This, the Dutch visa, was handwritten by my uncle, and then stamped by the Dutch consul. And the Japanese visa was also handwritten by the consul Sugihara, because he had one stamp of that text, and when his assistant was using the stamp, he was writing things by hand. You later on see a properly stamped visa. Next, please. This is a plaque in front of the house in which the British legation was located until September 1940. This is the house of the Sugihara consulate. The gate was on the right-hand side here. On the left-hand side was the entrance to the consulate. The office of Sugihara, the tabletop with the visas and the typewriter on which they were written. Now here we have a properly stamped visa. The Dutch visa is stamped.
Lower left. Lower left. What's your finger?
Or on the right-hand side, we have the Japanese visa also stamped. Now we'll see another visa, I think, this one here. This is again an example where on the left-hand side you see the two visas, both in handwriting. The top one, my uncle's handwriting, the lower one, in Japanese, written by hand by Sugihara. This is the extract from the wrists, showing that although all our documents were given to Sugihara together, we appear in different parts of the list. So we don't know why, but I happen to be the first one on the top with number 77, while one of my uncles is way down there, number 655. No rhyme or reason, but that was the disorder that simply existed at that time everywhere. Now here we have the declaration of the Foreign Minister of Japan, Matsuoka Yosuke, which he made in December 31, 1941, 24 days, nearly a month after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And he made the declaration to a group of Jewish businessmen in Japan. I'm the man responsible for the alliance with Hitler. But nowhere have I promised that we would carry out his anti-Semitic policies in Japan. This is not simply my personal opinion, it is the opinion of Japan, and I have no compunction about announcing it to the world. For this, we have to be very, very grateful to Japan the emperor at the time, the government of Japan, and the people of Japan. And amongst them, most certainly, the consul, Tuna Sugihara, who went against his instructions because he felt that he had to help people who were in danger. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shore, for joining us and sharing your story. I would now like to welcome Ms. Megumi Ishizuka, First Secretary and Head of the Political Section at the Embassy of Japan in Israel, to make her remarks.
I'm Megumi Ishizuka. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Megumi from Embassy of Japan in Israel. Thank you very much, Mr. Shore, for sharing your incredible story. If I could share my personal experience, I actually traveled to Krakow in Poland this February and visited Krakow ghetto and Auschwitz before this whole corona crisis started. It was very, very difficult to take in, to just stand there and imagine what these people had to go through at the time of the war. And listening to your story and what Sugihara did to save thousands of people by issuing visas, even though it was against instructions from the headquarters, it made us renew our firm commitment and determination to never ever let such a horrific event happen again. And also for me personally, it made me aspire to be a diplomat, or even just as a human being, to be a person who can make the right judgment at a critical time based on conscience and compassion and humanity, and act accordingly. And that leads me to think, although the current situation is very different from the time of the Holocaust, that we shall overcome the current crisis by sharing and cherishing such compassion and deep caring for other people. And I would just like to reiterate my sincere gratitude for, first of all, AJC for hosting this event, and Mr. Shore for sharing your inspiring story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ishizuka. And now I invite anyone, if they have any questions, to write them in the Q&A box and we can read them. I can start off. Mr. Shore, I was wondering if you had visited Japan since you've left, and how did you feel, and if you've interacted with any of Sugihara's relatives?
Yes, I visited Japan with my late wife, and we enjoyed it very much. And I also met the Sugihara family, and very friendly with one of his granddaughters, and we are in touch. Yes, we are in touch with Japan and in touch with the Sugihara family.
That's wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. It was actually really lovely to meet her as well. And we also visited the museum dedicated to him. So that was also wonderful. Another question from Jonathan Berger. why do you think Sugihara did what he did? And this is to both Mr. Shore and Ms. Ishizuka.
Well, some years ago, I took part in a film about 11 non-Jewish diplomats in Europe who helped Jews. I took part in the part of Sugihara, of course. And I was asked in that film, why did Sugihara do what he did? Exactly the same question. And frankly, I couldn't think of a better answer than a very, very simple one, which I gave that at that time on the spur of the moment. I simply said, good people do good things. That's the only explanation I have. Sugihara had no interest in doing what he did, the very opposite. He was actually hurting his position in the Foreign Office. He went against his government, against his superiors. The payment they received per visa was nothing, just the payment that one had to pay in most embassies or consulates for a visa. The Dutch visa, by the way, was very expensive. We suspected at the time that the Dutch consul was honorary consul, he was out of work, there was war, and that was possibly a part of his income, but not Sugihara. So the only possible reason is that the man knew what was in store for Jews if the Germans get hold of them, and decided to save them, or at least help them get out of Europe. He also knew, I'm quite convinced, that the alliance between Germany and Russia will not last, and that they were on the brink of a world war. So he did what he decided was the right thing to do. Unfortunately, very many people do that.
Thank you very much. And one last question. Given what you had been through, do you have a message for our generation and something that you would like to say to us?
Oh, that's a very, very difficult sort of a thing. Talking about the past is one thing. Talking about the future is another thing. Looking back at my life, I already know that you can foresee the immediate future of what you're going to do on the same day. But you cannot foresee the future even a few days ahead of you. So one cannot be prepared for every eventuality and for everything that can happen in this world. But one must be prepared to face every eventuality and act accordingly to one's conscience and make sure that that conscience is what I would define as a pure conscience, not affected by gain or by personal interests. And so I think everybody will have to act in the future. And I hope that everybody who has this attitude will act the way he should. At least I hope so.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to wrap up and thank all of our guests today. Lauren, thank you for introducing and moderating. Mr. Shore, thank you so much for sharing your incredible story with all the details, all the different pieces coming together for you and your family. For the pictures, it was really incredible to see, you know, how this was all possible. So thank you for being here with us. We really appreciate it. To Megumi, thank you for joining us and for your words. That was really special. I know as AJC, sorry, I'll introduce myself. I'm Allie Turkle. I'm the Associate Director for Access Global. And we have been working with Japan to host a mission, which Lauren was on. And we've taken, you know, so many young leaders to Japan to learn more about the culture and diplomacy, but also this remarkable story of Sugihara. And we've had the honor of meeting his granddaughters and hearing from them. And it just makes it even more special to kind of, you know, come full circle and hear from you as well, Mr. Shore, who was one of the beneficiaries of this remarkable act. So this is really special for us, and we're so thankful for that partnership, and for Shai, our Access Israel Director, for putting this together. Usually this program, again, is done in our homes, so we feel really lucky to be able to have done this event today virtually and bringing together people from all over the world, from Israel, Japan, the US, elsewhere. So I just want to thank you all for joining us. I think this message is so important now. There's so much going on today. I don't have to tell you all that, but I think it's important to also remember these stories, remember our past, and look to the future, and make sure we retell these stories and, you know, continue to support one another, to be courageous, to be good people. It's really important. And I just want to make sure that message is across. I think we heard it in, you know, so many different ways on this call today. And as it's Yom HaShoah, the Israeli Day of Remembrance, I think this is really timely. And I hope you all are safe and well. We really appreciate you being with us. We have many more events coming up in the near future, so you'll be hearing more about those. And I just want to thank everyone again for their time. And I wish you all a good and healthy week, and be well. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.